the God for whom people burned their own children alive, the God who demanded screams as sacrifice and smoke as worship, the God they believed controlled the rain, the crops, and the success of their empires, the master of fortune, fertility, and fame. Entire kingdoms believed their prosperity depended on him. Kings built temples in his name, and mothers placed their infants into roaring bronze furnaces, watching the fire swallow their future in exchange for a single promise: prosperity. His priests danced around pillars of flame, cut their own flesh to please him, and filled the air with drums so loud they drowned out the cries of dying children. This was not a fringe cult. It was the religion of empires, the Phoenicians, the Canaanites. Even the royal families of ancient Israel bowed to him. They called him Baal. This is where it all began. The story of a god made of smoke and gold, and the people who still serve him today.
Thousands of years ago, before any empire we know, people in the ancient Middle East used to whisper one name: Baal. It means Lord, the Master, the one who controls everything. They believed Baal brought rain, fertility, crops, basically life itself. If he was pleased, their farms flourished. If he was angry, the skies stayed dry. But here's the twist. Baal wasn't considered some hideous monster. Ancient accounts describe him as charming, radiant, and powerful, a figure of beauty and desire, a god who promised success. He told them, "You can have everything, wealth, power, pleasure, rain. Just give me your loyalty." And that loyalty didn't come free. The rituals were dark. They would dance, sing, and eventually sacrifice what was most precious, sometimes even their own children, burning them alive as a gift to Baal. They called it devotion. But in truth, it was desperation, because Baal had turned them into slaves of their own desire. Now, here's what people miss. Baal wasn't just a religion, it was a system. The kings, the priests, the businessmen of that time all supported it. Because it worked! It kept people obedient. The ruler would say, "Baal wants you to pay taxes." The priest would say, "Baal wants you to obey the king." The farmer would say, "Baal wants my child." And the whole system would keep turning. You see how clever that is? Religion mixed with politics. Power mixed with fear. A spiritual pyramid scheme where only the top lived like gods, and the rest were told that their suffering was holy. That's not ancient history. That's today, too. Same game, new graphics. The prophet who stood alone. Then came Prophet Ilyas, known as Elijah in the Bible. One man, alone. The entire kingdom had turned to Baal worship. The queen, Jezebel, built temples. The king, Ahab, funded 450 official prophets, all preaching the same lie. Imagine CNN, Fox, and every influencer in the world, all promoting the same god of materialism. That was Baal's world. And Prophet Ilyas. He stood alone. He called them out. You've traded the truth for comfort. You've turned worship into business. You've burned your children for rain, and you call that civilization. Nobody listened. They mocked him, canceled him, and tried to kill him. But one day, Prophet Ilyas challenged them all. The showdown on the mountain, he said, "Bring all 450 prophets of Baal. Let's meet on Mount Carmel." Thousands gathered. The air was heavy. Drums, chants, noise. Ilyas stood there quietly. He told them, "Call upon your God, and I will call upon mine. The one who answers with fire, he is the true Lord." The prophets of Baal began shouting. They screamed, cut themselves, danced, cried. Nothing happened. Their God was silent. Then Ilyas stepped forward. No drums, no show. He raised his hands and whispered, "O Allah, show them the truth." And instantly, fire fell from the sky. It consumed the altar, the sacrifice, everything. The people fell silent. For the first time, they saw the difference between truth and illusion. That's what happens when light confronts deception. It doesn't argue. It burns through it. Prophet Ilyas warned them, Baal's kingdom looks powerful, but it always collapses, because no matter how high the illusion rises, it cannot compete with truth. And when the time comes, when the rain stops falling, when wealth turns to dust, and when every lord fails to answer, the world will remember the same thing those people on Mount Carmel realized. There is only one who truly controls the rain. Only one who can bring life back to the dead earth. And that one was never Baal. Now here's where the story gets real. Baal worship never truly disappeared. It just changed shape. Every generation rebuilt the same idea. Sacrifice your morals, and I'll give you power. The ancient Phoenicians offered their children to fire. The modern elite offers the innocence of millions through media, corruption, and control. And the strange thing is, the symbols never went away. The same horns, the same inverted stars, the same obsession with illumination, with eyes watching from the pyramid's peak. These aren't random designs, they're signatures, hidden in plain sight. Over the last few decades, countless leaks, testimonies, and investigations have pointed towards something uncanny, an undercurrent of dark ritualism among the highest ranks of politics, entertainment, and finance. From Hollywood to high office, we see the same patterns: disturbing art, coded language, and ceremonies masked as fashion or performance. Some call it symbolism for the initiated. Others call it satanic theater. But in every version of the story, it always revolves around one thing: power through submission to darkness. Testimonies have surfaced from insiders, survivors, and whistleblowers, describing rituals invoking ancient deities once thought extinct. Names like Baal, Moloch, Ashtaroth, resurfacing in the mouths of the elite, not as myths, but as entities of reverence. And whether these acts are literal or symbolic, the result is the same: an empire built on the worship of self, wealth, and dominance. It's no coincidence that the same societies obsessed with control, lust, and luxury are the ones who display the same ancient symbols: the horns, the fire, the child, the eye. The same gods, different names, because Baal never needed believers. He only needed a system that rewards corruption, protects evil, and calls sin art. The altars have changed, the rituals have evolved, but the God behind them is still the same. The return of Baal, the modern empire. You thought Baal was gone? You thought people stopped worshiping him when his temples turned to dust? No, he just moved. He changed his outfit, he put on a suit, he built skyscrapers instead of altars and called them progress. And today, he's more worshipped than ever before. The new religion of the world. See, people no longer bow to idols made of stone. They bow to logos made of gold. They no longer sacrifice their children in fire. Baal doesn't need your body anymore. He needs your attention. He discovered that if he can control what you look at, he can control what you believe. And once he controls what you believe, he doesn't need to enslave you. You'll enslave yourself. Balenciaga. Now let's talk about something that shocked the world for a moment. Balenciaga, a luxury brand. But look closer at the name. Balenciaga. Baal, an ancient name. Enciaga, a Basque root, meaning of the church, or belonging to the house. Together it roughly echoes the same ancient statement. Baal is king. Coincidence? Maybe. But the world of symbols rarely runs on coincidence. See, these aren't just words. They're messages wrapped in design, repeated in fashion, music, and art, reminding the world who still runs it. Because the elite world of fashion, entertainment, and influence isn't atheistic. It's deeply spiritual, just not in a godly way. They believe in power. They believe in energy. They believe in sacrifice. And their temples are award shows, runways, boardrooms, where morality is the only thing too out of style to wear. Modern prophets of Baal. Remember those 450 prophets of Baal who stood against Prophet Ilyas, calling people to burn their children to worship the god of desire? They never left. They just changed their wardrobe. They don't wear robes now. They wear luxury. They don't stand on altars, they stand on stages. They don't chant to Baal, they sing to millions. And their message hasn't changed. Follow your heart. Do whatever makes you happy. Truth is whatever you feel. They sell lifestyles. They sell rebellion. They sell everything except truth. And the people, the same way they once bowed to idols of gold, now bow to screens of glass. They defend these false prophets as if they were saints. They quote them, imitate them, worship them, while their own hearts grow empty. The cruelty of this age isn't just in wars or corruption. It's in how normal injustice has become, how people scroll past suffering without a blink, how truth has become offensive and lies are celebrated as courage. The poor starve, while the rich mock humility. The innocent are silenced, while the corrupt are crowned. This is not progress. It's the same ancient ritual dressed in modern language. Because Baal never cared what century it was. He only cared that people kept sacrificing what was pure. And today, those sacrifices are everywhere. Children poisoned by what they watch. Families torn apart for freedom. Faith mocked in the name of art. This is Baal's kingdom rebuilt, not with stone and flame, but with fame and indifference. The same prophets, the same deception, the same false promise. Give up your soul, and you can have the world. And humanity, blind, entertained, intoxicated by noise, keeps saying yes. Baal doesn't need temples anymore. He owns the culture, the system that feeds him. Now let's go deeper. The world you live in, it's not random. It's designed. And it runs on the same formula Baal used thousands of years ago. Temptation, dependence, and control. Temptation. Make people want something so badly they'll trade anything for it. Dependence. Make them believe they can't live without it. Control. Once you control desire, you control destiny. Think about it. What's the new god of our age? It's not Baal carved in stone. It's the market. It decides who eats, who starves, who succeeds, who fails. Money reigns like Baal's reign. Some receive too much, others none at all. And just like before, the priests say, you didn't pray hard enough to the system. Work more, buy more, obey more. And the irony? People actually believe it. Modern sacrifices. We think human sacrifice is ancient. But look around. Children are exploited for profit. Families are broken for fame. Truth is burned alive to keep the illusion shining. Every time a celebrity scandal breaks involving children, corruption, or occult symbols, the world laughs for a day, posts memes, then forgets. That's the trick. Make the darkness entertaining. That way, people will watch their own destruction like a movie. Baal always loved that kind of worship, where people destroy themselves while calling it art. The illusion of freedom. And what's most terrifying, people think they're free. Back then, they knew they were serving a god. Now, we serve without realizing it. We work jobs. We hate to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like. That's not freedom. That's the purest form of slavery. Voluntary slavery. Every civilization that worshipped Baal eventually collapsed. Every single one. From the Phoenicians to the Canaanites to Ahab's kingdom. They all fell after reaching their golden age. And we're repeating that same story. The same wealth, the same arrogance, the same spiritual emptiness. A civilization that builds towers into the sky but can't keep a family together. And deep down, everyone knows. Something isn't right. It's like the soul of the world is tired. Because it is. The deceiver. The age of Dajjal. For thousands of years, humanity has worshipped power. They called it Baal, then progress, then success. But it was always the same God. And now, that worship is reaching its final stage. The age of Baal prepared the stage. The age of industry built the tools. The age of technology connected the world. And the age of illusion will welcome its king. The Prophet Muhammad told us, there has never been a trial on earth greater than the trial of the Dajjal. He won't just appear as a magician or a politician. He will come as a solution. The Savior the world was programmed to expect. the god of Baal, now wearing human skin. He will promise peace. He will promise wealth. He will promise rain to a world dying of drought, not just drought of water, but drought of meaning. And people will follow him because they already follow his system. They've been worshiping him without knowing it. The Dajjal won't need to convince them. He'll only need to appear. The system of deception. Look around. The system is already here. It has everything he needs. Control of money, control of media, control of knowledge. Baal ruled through fire. Dajjal will rule through information. He will not say, worship me. He will say, trust me. And that's worse. Because when people stop worshiping truth, they start trusting lies. The illusion of miracles. The prophet said the Dajjal will control rain, food, and even what people see. He will make barren lands bloom and make life appear from death. Think about that. Technology, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering. It's all leading toward one thing, the illusion of creation. He won't need to call fire from heaven like Baal. He'll just code it. He'll simulate paradise. He'll create digital heavens where pain doesn't exist and call it the next evolution of humanity. And the world will cheer. Because when truth becomes too heavy, illusion feels lighter. The 3 years of test. Our prophet described the world before Dajjal's arrival. 3 years of drought. In the first year, 1/3 of the rain will stop. In the second, 2/3. In the third, complete dryness. No crops, no rain, no life. People will be desperate. And then he will come, with rain that falls where he points and food that multiplies where he walks. But that rain won't be water. That food won't be blessing. It will be fitna, deception. Because what he gives, he owns. And whoever takes from him belongs to him. The test of faith. The Dajjal won't test your strength. He'll test your vision. What you see, what you believe. He will show paradise, but it will be hell. He will show hell, but it will be paradise. And the prophet said, if you see him, close your eyes and recite the opening verses of Surah Al-Kahf. Why Al-Kahf? Because that surah teaches you to see through illusion. It's the story of youth who fled society to protect their faith. It's the story of a man who met Khidr and learned that not everything that looks bad is bad, and not everything that looks good is good. It's the story of Du al-Qarnayn, a king who used power not for ego, but for justice. Al-Kahf is the anti-program. It rewires the heart to see reality as it is, not as it's advertised. The final deception. The Dajjal's greatest weapon won't be war. It will be convincing good people that they're doing good. He will build systems in the name of peace that enslave. He will create charities that destroy. He will promise equality but demand obedience. And people will agree, because he will speak the language of love while building the empire of control. He will not look like a monster. He will look like everything humanity ever wanted to be. Beautiful, powerful, compassionate, intelligent. And that's why people will fall. Because they don't fall for darkness, they fall for fake light. The only shield. But Allah did not leave us helpless. The Prophet gave us the keys. Memorize the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf. Stay away from him. Never chase his miracles. And keep your heart tied to the unseen. Because the real battle is not outside. It's inside. The Dajjal can't control those who don't crave the world. He can't deceive a heart that already surrendered to Allah. His power ends where your contentment begins. That's why Ilyas could stand alone against 450 prophets of Baal. Because faith doesn't need numbers. It only needs truth. The end of the illusion. And like Baal, Dajjal's reign will end, not with an army, but with one breath. The breath of Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam, who will return and destroy him. That will be the moment truth finally silences illusion. The rain will return. The earth will heal. And humanity will realize what it took them millennia to understand, that no matter how powerful false gods become, their time always ends. Because illusion cannot outlive truth. And the truth is Allah, the real King, the only Lord, the one who was, is, and will forever be. So if the world around you feels dark, if deception seems too powerful, remember this. Even Prophet Ilyas stood alone, and still the sky answered him. You don't need armies. You need clarity. You need remembrance. You need light. And that light is still within you.